Alright, how's it going, everybody? We're back. So you know in the last video when I was talking about the derp moosefish, I was saying that there's another achievement in AQWorlds that is just like it. Well, here we are doing it today. We're going to try and get the derp limb achievement as well as one of the few that I don't have on this account. I did start earlier with a full stack of Kale Root and dried slime. I was trying to farm it out a little bit, and I also have been farming it out a little bit beforehand, or before today rather, with no luck. This one seems to actually genuinely be harder than derp moosefish, even though I believe it is the same chance. But yeah, man, it's this one's brutal in comparison. Derp moosefish, I think I just got really lucky. But even then, I do believe, even like, if you fuck up by using the fishing rod and you fall in the water, I still think there's a chance for the there's still a chance for the derp moosefish to show up. So I think no matter what, it is just an objectively faster farm than this one, which is why this one's so fucked in comparison. Because one, at least you're pretty much almost always guaranteed to get fish, and if you use TNT, you are guaranteed to get fish, meaning that you will always have a chance for the derp moosefish to show up. Whereas here, Lim doesn't always show up, and of the times that he shows up, it is a 0.1% chance for him to go mad. So yeah, it's pretty fucked. You don't really need to use any specific regions. I just used Kale Root because I already had Kale Root in my inventory beforehand. I had to farm those fucking what was it? The Kale Root compound. I'm gonna look it up. It's the fuck me in the Kale Root compound. Yeah, these little fuckers. I farmed them when I was getting the Lazar's skull, and then by proxy, I got Kale Root in my inventory. As for dried slime, I kind of just picked another region at random. However, this specific region is really good for a lot of in-game potions. Hey, there's Lim, but he didn't go mad, so now I'm pissed off. But anyways, the specific combination of Kale Root and dried slime makes Fate Tonics, Destruction Potions, or Destruction Elixirs, Honor and Malice Potions, Soul Potions. Well, these ones aren't that important, but just know that it does make Soul Potions. You don't really need these at all. I just wanted to point it out that it makes these. In Unstable Fates, and I think, don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, I think it also makes Revitalize Potions, because I don't remember having 70 of these in my inventory. But again, don't quote me on that. Let me see if it's true. I'm actually really fucking close, surprisingly. I think Lemur Fent Tears. But dried slime is a component, so no, it does not. Specifically, Kale Root and dried slime does not make Revitalize, but dried slime is a component for it. That's weird, though. I don't remember having 70 of these. Why the fuck do I have so many? That's weird. But yeah, the important ones to take note of are Fate, Destruction, both of the 75% damage potions, which is really good, and Unstable Fate. You don't need to care about soul potions. I don't really know in what situation you need to be using those. Maybe if you're like using King's Echo and it's like consuming an ungodly amount of mana, then maybe, but like you can just use the X-Men helmet for that. I don't think you need to waste a potion slot on that when you could be just using something that's objectively better, like Scroll of Enrage or the damage potions. You know, something of that sort. I don't know. But yeah, this grind in particular, in comparison to derp moosefish, is a bitch, because Lim is not guaranteed to show up every time, whereas with derp moosefish, you're always guaranteed to get fish. So therefore, this one kinda fucking sucks. I was looking into it, and there were a lot of people saying that they have been doing it for multiple hours on end with no results. Some dude said he got it like 5 times, which is absurd. But, you know, in my... fuck, has it been 15 years already? Dude, I think it's already been 15 years. Holy shit. In my 15 years of playing, and I have not seen it. But then again, I have not been actively grinding out this achievement in all of my years of playing. Hey, I got Boleyn. What's up? But yeah, all the other characters that show up do not matter. The only one that matters is Lim. It is objectively significantly, and I do mean this, significantly easier to do it through the Dragon Ruin Stones, because if you fuck up your potions doing the normal method, it's just gonna take so much longer, because you have to sit here and you have to fucking manage this shit, and it's just like, it's too much. Basically, it's too much, and if you're going specifically for the achievement, then just don't do it. The reason, though, that you would use regular regents over the Dragon Runestone is the Dragon Runestone is random. That is... oh, hi, Lim. That is the trade-off for you using these, is that you get potions at random, but if you actually use the regents and mix it yourself, you will, I believe, more guarantee the potions that you're going for. But also, you can just kind of purchase every potion in the game that you really need in-game through Alchemy Academy, so there's not really a point to brew potions here, unless you don't have a good way to grind the gold. But if you're in game, you should definitely have some way of grinding gold. So, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. I do know in the last video, I was yapping about Deadlock, and I was able to take up most of my time there by talking about the game, but, you know, the real unfortunate thing about that is, I kind of said everything that I wanted to say about the game. You know, it's a really good game. It's just, it's held back by the... pick something, nigga, fuck you. I'll pick something when I feel like it, bitch ass nigga. That game really is held back by the amount of players that just don't know how to play the game. And I don't know if I talked about this in the last video, but I'm gonna bring it up now. Deadlock has probably the worst tutorial that I've seen in a video game by far. Even worse than Terraria's, which I don't even fucking understand how you do that. Because at least Terraria did have a tutorial before they took it out the game, and even then you can talk to the guide, and he'll tell you how to do... hi, Lim. He'll tell you how to do everything at literally every point in progression. It's just that the game never explicitly tells you that you need to talk to the guide, which really sucks, but... Deadlock, for as complex as the game is, it has a lot of moving parts going on. The tutorial quite literally comes down to basically saying, you have abilities, there's an item shop, now play the game. And it recommends that you go into Street Brawl to learn the game. When I tell you that those first 10 hours of learning Deadlock was so painful, so egregious, and that the worst thing that the game tells you when you start out, by far, is that you have to play Street Brawl to learn the game, nigga. What the fuck are you talking about? So the problem with Street Brawl is that it's meant to be the introduction to Deadlock. Here's the issue. You already need to have an understanding, to a degree, of all of the items in the game, and then you would also need some knowledge of how to play your character first, so that you don't just immediately charge in and die. Street Brawl is a very, very fast-paced version of the game. It basically gives you a bunch of items that you have to pick from. It then lets you upgrade your abilities off rip. You also get access to your entire kit off rip. And there's only one Guardian and one Walker to go for, versus 3 Guardians and 3 Walkers in the normal game. However, if you do not have the knowledge of how items work, if you do not have some knowledge of how your character works, and you do not have any knowledge of how Guardians or Walkers work, Street Brawl will not make sense to you. And it's supposed to be the thing that teaches you about the game. When I tell you that I booted up Street Brawl when I was learning the game, it was literally confused for hours on end about what anything I was clicking in Street Brawl was when I was getting my items. It was bad. It was really bad. It's egregious. It really is. The best way to learn Deadlock, unfortunately, is kind of hopping into Deadlock itself, like the actual game. But the problem that I ran into was I didn't know what I was doing. I was dying multiple times over, like 10 plus times. And then my lane mates would just scream at me. These are people, mind you, that have been playing the game for so much longer than me. Yelling at somebody who's been playing the game for all of 2 seconds. And the issue that I find myself now doing is I am, unfortunately, kind of doing the same exact thing to other people who have literally been playing the game for only 2 seconds. This is because the game, in its unholy ineptitude, does not have a good tutorial. The actual tutorial does not tell you how items work. It does not really tell you how your abilities work. It doesn't tell you about Guardians or Walkers. It doesn't tell you about boxes or camps. It doesn't tell you about bridge buffs. It doesn't tell you a single fucking thing about how the Arc Mother or the Hidden King works. It quite literally leaves you in the dark about every single mechanic of the game, and Street Brawl is an infinitely worse version of that, if I'm to be honest, because it is so much more significantly overwhelming than the tutorial, and yet it's supposed to be the way that you somehow learn the game. Where does that make sense? I've been wanting to get that off of my chest for a while. If any of my rambling made sense to you at all, I'm glad. Because holy god. I still do think that Deadlock is an amazing game. Arguably, not even arguably, I'm just gonna say it. Top 5 best games that I've ever played. Genuinely. It's really good. It doesn't even tell you how souls work. It doesn't even tell you how spirit damage works. And you know what spirit damage is? It's how the majority of the game functions. I had to mute my mic there. I had to mute my mic because I really did have to think about that a little bit. You want to know the funny thing is about Deadlock and how I am approaching 200 hours played in that game. I'm sitting around probably close to like 150-ish hours as of right now. Even now, I still don't really understand the intricacies of spirit damage. What everything, like how everything works with spirit damage, how spirit resist works. You know, like health, like building health. Health items are very self-explanatory, for the most part. Gun, if you're building gun, is self-explanatory. Don't build gun, because gun bad. I didn't know that for like the first couple of hours of me playing the game, is that building gun is terrible. Don't fucking do that. Most characters do phenomenal spirit damage. And most characters in general also just do spirit damage. The game doesn't really... What the fuck? Sorry, the rep thing was being weird. The game doesn't really explain the difference between, like, building your health, or building for gun, or building for spirit. It just kind of says... It doesn't even tell you about builds, if I'm to be honest. It just tells you there's items. Go play the game. But, yeah, there are 3 main avenues that you can go down. Technically 2, because most characters in Deadlock cannot run gun and effectively do anything. Because gun used to be a lot better, apparently, before I started playing, but it got nerfed into the ground. I remember when I first started playing the game, I ran gun graves, and some people got pissed off at me for that in my games, and I didn't understand why. But the weird thing about graves is that you're not supposed to build gun, but the way that she used to function, you also could not build spirit. So you would think, oh, okay, so the last avenue, because you can also build into health, you would probably want to do that. No, that character, literally, I don't know what Graves was supposed to build before, like, the recent changes to her. Now you can run spirit, and she'll be fine. But I don't know what you were supposed to do, because gun was bad on her. Gun was really bad, apparently. Spirit wasn't viable, and you also couldn't build health, as far as I can tell. So I'm just sitting here like, nigga, what? Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Because at least when you look at somebody like Drifter, he can run gun, but that's just because his whole character is like built off of elims. Yes. Oh fuck. Oh, it's everywhere. He's still mad. Wait, Lim's still mad. How does this work? Do I already have the achievement? Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh penis! I want to end the video, but like I don't. Do I relog? I think I got it. Yeah. Do I go back to the academy? Holy shit. Okay, hold on, because I'm not sure how this works. I'm gonna relog and see if I got it real quick. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Because I was still able to, like, brew potions and shit. I thought it was going to be a little bit more ceremonious than that. Did I do it? Hold on. If I did it and I see the achievement in here, I'm gonna, like, nut, and then the video ends, like, right afterwards. Hold on. Did I do it? Oh!